There will be a handful of occasions when I will say to my 5 kids, you better never forget this. And my friends, this morning, this is exactly what the Apostle John is doing as he ends his first of 3 letters to the young, growing, but endangered church that he loved and cared so deeply about. You see, John knew the stakes were eternally high for his spiritual kids. He knew everything was on the line, and so he says, you better know this. In fact, he actually says you better know these 5 scriptural truths, these 5 biblical realities if you're going to live out your faith in powerful, God-honoring, difference-making fashion. 5 foundations, 5 fundamental, absolutely, you have to know these things, truths. Let's start with number 1, the assurance of eternal life. He wrote this epistle, he wrote 1 John, to give believers, to help the already convinced test themselves and examine their faith in order to give them the appropriate confidence that they did in fact possess eternal life. The marks of a genuine believer, the presence of love and obedience, love for God and others, and obedience to God. These are the marks of the truly saved, and the truly saved are led to eternal life. First thing John wants you to know, oida, deep in your heart and soul, is that you as a believer possess eternal life. Number 2, God answers prayer. As it relates to the prayer experience of the believer, we're reminded today in verse 15 that the God of the universe, the God of the world, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when you pray, when I pray, it says beyond a shadow of a doubt that God hears you. Thirdly, we've been given victory over sin and Satan. And I want to remind you, as it relates to your relationship with sin, I want to remind you that God has sovereignly, God has powerfully, God has absolutely changed. He has altered your identity. The genuine Christian also, next point, we've got to close. The genuine Christian belongs to God. Let me just give you this last one. Jesus Christ is God. The truth is that this entire epistle has been leading chapter by chapter, page by page, to the culminating reality that our faith is real, our faith is genuine. Jesus is exactly that. He is our eternal life because he is God.